All right, it's showtime. Hey,
All right.
welcome to Q&A with Alan and Marshall. I'm Marshall Atkinson,
I'm Alan Howe with Easy Way.
and welcome to our show. So it's pretty much almost the end of Q3, and we're going to be talking about some stuff later.
Yep.
But right now, what we'd like you to do is just to sign in and say hello. So we want to know who's watching. We want to know where you're from. If you're a new visitor, hey, thank you for watching. And but we also would love it if you would click the share button and let everybody know that you're watching, because we want to grow our audience and stuff, right, Alan?
Absolutely. And you know what? When you share it, it just holds more weight than Marshall or I doing it. So we really
nobody cares what we think.
No, not at all. We're just self-promoting.
Yeah.
And you know what? To everybody that listens, that might not be on live, man, we have a lot of people that listen, at night and different days. I just got an email, Marshall. I didn't even tell you before the show.
Oh, you're keeping secrets from me?
Yeah, I do a lot. It's on need to know basis. But it's a guy out of New Zealand, a printer, and needs some help. And I looked on his Facebook page. He's only friends with one person, you.
Yeah, who's that?
Josh Allen.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen him poking around. Yeah.
So
okay.
Yeah, so I'm excited. So everybody that listens, that's not live, because we love the people that listen live. But man, the reason we have this, it's on podcast, it's on you can see it on YouTube, is watch it when you can.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Thank you so much. If we don't want to forget those people.
And we're here for you. And so if you're not watching it live and you have a question, you can just type in that comment and we'll probably answer it.
Yeah, exactly. Or I love it when they get a hold of us, for me, like international, through instant messenger and an email.
Yeah,
that's
right.
what we're here for. So absolutely.
Cool. So let's say hey to some people. So Ghost is here from Sweden.
Ghost, good morning.
Charles is here from New Mexico.
Happy Friday.
Shane's here. I'm not sure where Shane lives. Do you know?
I don't remember. He's told
Shane, where do you live?
Shane, tell us again.
Yeah. Heather's watching from Kentucky.
Hey, Heather.
Keith's watching from Northern California. Good morning.
As always, Keith. It was so
Peter's
good hanging out with.
From Michigan.
Always.
Alan, the dip tank is awesome, along with the filtration system. So good job.
Not a doubt in my mind.
Yeah, Matt's watching from South Carolina.
Hey, Matt.
And Ghost says, Alan, it's time to clean your glasses.
And you're right. Some of that is for, I don't have the lights on, my LED lights, I think so, but
there's nothing better than viewer accountability.
Exactly. They look about the same, but yeah.
So Shane says Grand Junction, Colorado. Great.
All right.
I'm not sure where that is. Is that like Denver area? I don't know. I'm geographically kind of backwards. I actually usually have to look at a map.
It's east. I know it's eastern Nevada.
It's eastern Nevada in Colorado?
Yeah. Well, it's eastern Nevada. That's Colorado. So north of Arizona.
Yeah. Okay.
Grand Junction. Is that in the southeast part of Colorado?
We'll have to get Google out here soon. And Hurley's watching. So good morning, Hurley.
Canada.
He says it's 27.5 miles from Utah. It's the half mile that makes the difference.
It is 27 miles and not enough.
Josh says good morning. He's watching from Oklahoma. So good morning. All right. So what you been up to this week, Alan? You've been traveling. You've been doing some stuff. What you been doing?
I have not been traveling. This week I was at home all week. I went from, before Shirt Lab, I was traveling from Florida to Chicago to Texas to Shirt Lab and stuff. So it's about 3 weeks where I was home, maybe a couple days in between.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you what, after Shirt Lab, and then after Shirt Lab, I hit the ground running right out of the airport with some dealer reps, and then had to go that weekend to a family function in Ohio. So Sunday night I got home and I was wiped out. I have stayed at home. just in my house, in my office, and it's been nice. But next week, appointments are scheduled. I'm out again.
Good, good. Yeah. So I think one of my favorite stories from after Shirt Lab is you getting all jacked up and inspired and going out and seeing customers that before you would have just avoided. And
that was exactly
that made me feel good.
Yeah, it was it. And, I just pictured Jeffrey Gitomer going, grow a pair, and that's what it was. So,
right.
So, we all get that way. I think sometimes we're here, we give advice and say, do this, do that. Here's what you do. But you know what? We have the same struggle sometimes. And sometimes we just need to hear it again.
Usually the biggest problem with sales isn't your customer. It's the stupid voice in your head that says you can't close.
You can't
close. Why waste your time?
Why waste
They don't need you.
Yep. That's exactly it.
So Melissa's here, who if I believe is Heather's mom, if I remember correctly. And Charles says, so that's why you came by this week, Alan.
I did not go by. I was not in New Mexico, so don't even try to get me in trouble.
Right, cool.
I was not there. I wish I was, but I've never been in New Mexico.
So what do you say we play our sponsor commercial? GSG is sponsoring us as always. And so I got a little promo for them, and then we'll get into some topics. What do you think?
I think so, because the rep I was working with Wednesday, Thursday was GSG up here in Michigan, and we killed it. So yeah. Oh wait, look here, Lyra from the Philippines. Who would that be, Marshall?
Oh, that's my assistant.
Yep, Lyra, you do a great job.
That's awesome. So hey, thanks, Lyra.
Considering it's 12 midnight over there,
we can talk all about her later.
Absolutely.
All right. Hey, let's play our commercial.
Yep.
Here we go. Hey, we're back. So Lyra does a great job for me. She does my social media for me. She edits the podcast. She's actually helping me put together a book right now that should be coming out soon, which is basically season 1 of my Success Stories podcast. So we've been working really hard on that, and we're at the finish stretch. So anyway, so thanks for watching, Lyra. You do a great job.
Awesome. Yeah, it was funny because I just talked to 2 of my friends in the Philippines, both in Cebu earlier today.
Yeah, so great. All right, cool. So we got some topics to talk about today. Let me get this off. And the first one is Q3 to Q4. So there's a calendar thing happening, Alan. What is it?
You know what? First of all, where did the year go? We were just talking about January 1, New Year. Let's go. Lights at the tunnel. Time to move. And we have been moving. And we are now, Q3 is moving into the last quarter of 2021.
Yeah.
And man, are you ready for this? Are you ready for Halloween? If you're not ready for Halloween already, you're not ready at all. Halloween sales coming up. What are you going to do about the holidays? And what are you doing? Are you set for Black Friday? What is going on?
Well, that's another topic we have coming up. So let's not skip too far ahead. So I think really what I really want people to think about is Q3 is ending. So that's the last 3 months. Okay. Did you hit your goals? Did you even set goals?
True.
I know so many people that don't even set goals, and it confuses me. Right. So these could be financial goals. These could be task goals, like you wanted to do something, right? So did you achieve what you wanted to achieve? And if you didn't, it's okay, but let's take stock as to why that you didn't.
Right.
And then let's figure out how you can achieve it, because guess what? You've got 3 months left for the year. Okay. Yep. So so I want you to start thinking about your top line sales, moreover, your bottom line sales. That's what you should really be focusing on, right? Your bottom line sales, right? The profit that you're making. I was talking with somebody the other day, and they were trying to figure out how to build pricing matrices, right? And they didn't know their costs, and so it was like, hey, you got to do this work, right? This is the mind-numbing, soul-sucking work that you have to do in order to build a price list that works. Is you have to know your costs, right? Yep. And so I was helping them with that, but they've been operational for years, right? And so this is how you figure out. If you don't know your costs, you don't know what your profit is. You're just guessing at it.
Yeah.
So
unfortunately, sometimes I put people like that in the category, you are in business in spite of yourselves, because you don't know if you're losing money. You don't know if you're making money. You just don't know. And
so it's really important. I know, Alan, you're a big goal setter, right? I mean,
I do. We have to have them in sales.
And make a plan and try to figure it out. And, and I can tell you, for me, I make goals. They don't always go according to what I've thought up, because guess what? Life, it goes sideways on you sometimes, and you have to adjust, and that's okay.
Yeah.
So when we're thinking right now, Alan, what do you do at the end of a quarter to assess after action report kind of a thing, right? Here's what happened. Okay. What did we learn? We're moving forward to the next quarter. We want to make sure we hit our goals. We want to make sure we achieve what we want to achieve. How do you do it?
Well, everybody is built a little different, and I do set goals. And Marshall, I know you set goals daily. You get up your first part of the morning. We were talking about this today. Your first part of the morning is you're assessing, you're setting goals, you're writing them on the whiteboard, and you erase that whiteboard all the time. So you are more goal setting than I do. In my job,
I'm nuts.
You're insane. I have to set goals because of my job. The company insists on it. We got to do it because, one, if you don't have a plan and something to shoot for, you're spinning your wheels. You're just in nebulous world.
Yeah.
And you got to get what we call that rifle approach.
You need a direction.
Absolutely. So my goals are now, some people, like if I had to do it like Marshall did, the way I'm built, I would crush under the pressure. Marshall thrives under it. So I look at my goals. I don't want to say quarterly, more than that, but I don't stress over them daily. I watch my goals. I know where my numbers are, and I know how far and off I am. And I can assess what is going well, what is not. Right now, I'm right on target. I set a goal for a increase over last year. I should hit last year's numbers by the end of this month or the beginning of next month.
Yeah, right.
Not a problem. So that's good. So my low end goal, I always have the goal that I put there, and that's always top end.
Yeah.
My low end goal, it should be not a problem, but I should hit my top end if things go well and on track right now. So I watch that, but then I have to watch by area. What's Chicago doing? What's Cleveland doing? What's this distributor doing? What's that distributor doing?
Yeah.
Is Sandlot Sports ordering enough of chemical? No, they're not. Oh, wait. Adam McCauley just popped on. That's why I said that. So,
hey, welcome to the show. And we need a purchase order by the top of the hour, please.
I just use verbal Adam. 12 drums. It'll be there tomorrow. No. So, and if people don't know, Sandlot Sports and I are great friends. They're great guys and good company, and they do support me. So no, they're wonderful. So on goals, I have to do that. I do watch it by customer some, but mostly by area. What are my dealers doing? Who's doing a good job? Where are we weak at? Where do I need to travel more? And then I have to get in touch with them. What can I do to help them be more successful also?
Mm-hmm.
Because maybe it's easy. Some sales guys go, this dealer is awful in the area. And Marshall, you and I have talked. I have some dealers that aren't my favorite, but sometimes I got to look back and go, to quote Jeffrey Gitomer, why do I suck as a salesperson? What am I doing to show that my product is better? They can be more profitable and increase their business.
Right.
That's what I'm paid to do. And so I can drill down by product. I can drill up by dealer. I can drill even bigger by area. So I do watch those.
Yeah.
But I am not a numbers guy. I would collapse under that. As long as I know I'm moving in that direction, I can keep moving,
Well,
and I can adjust where I need to do.
Well, goals don't always have to be about numbers.
No,
You know,
not at all.
it could be about tasks. It could
Yep.
be about accomplishments. It could be about learning. I'm going to read a book a week or a book a month. I'm going to attend this. I'm going to hire a new salesperson. I'm going to redo the website. You know, whatever. Those are goals, right? And you know, like one of my goals was by September 1st, finish a book. Right.
Yep.
Well, I'm like obviously not hitting that goal because I'm still working on the book.
Yep.
But if I didn't have that goal, then where I wouldn't ever, you know, we're not even going to work on it. Right. So you got to like set that out and you think realistically, but, you know, at the end of the day, you know, you just got to adjust and whatever. And to me, it's okay that if you don't hit the goal, as long as you're learning from it, as long as you're making progress toward it, and you can adapt and change and reassess and all that kind of stuff. But you have to keep pushing. You have to keep moving forward. And I know that not everything goes the way that I want it to go. I mean, like right now, I was telling you before the show, I set a sales goal last November, and earlier this month I hit the goal, and now I'm actually 12% over my yearly sales goal. So the rest of this year is over what my goal was. So am I a happy camper? Yes. Right. But it also makes me think, well, I guess I really underestimated this year. Right. So when I assess what I'm doing for 2022, you know, it's going to be just a little more because I need to push it. Right. And then so how I'm achieving these goals is really about, you know, plant the flag on top of the mountain, and then you got to work backward from what you need to do to hit it. That's what helps me. And then I do that with spreadsheets and checklists and all kinds of stuff. You know, I mark things green when I did them, and just like I got all these little dumb things I do, but it works for me. Right. So, I would like it if you're watching this right now, like, you don't have to give us numbers, and we certainly don't want to embarrass anybody, but where are you in your goals, especially for Q3? Did you hit them? What are you doing for Q4? Do you have questions about this kind of stuff? Leave a comment, right? This is our topic right now. We would love some feedback and look at that a little bit. So
I think too, when you have goals written down, because if they're not written down somewhere, you don't have them. You know, I'm looking on my whiteboard, and there was a set of goals that I had at the beginning of the year of 5 accounts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that I wanted to at least have appointments and be into. And I've called these guys, but I've not hit those goals. And I'm sitting here looking at that going, I need to really hit it hard this last quarter because it's a new market and stuff, and really work that. I just haven't. So goals help you stay on focus on there. And am I failing in that area? Yes. Are my accomplishments good sales goals wise? Yes. But I need to do that because you don't want to be so focused in one area, say textile, graphics, whatever. I need to start expanding out.
So after the show today, Alan, I want you to send all 5 of those people a video.
Yep, absolutely.
Hi, it's Alan. We're like, you know, let me come by and get in touch with them and explain to them why they need to use you.
Or a new email, the way Brittany Long did at Shirt Lab and stuff like that. So
right.
Absolutely. Because now we're in Q4, we're coming in there, and clients, they're now looking, going, what do I need to do for next year? And now's the time to start building that. Just like we tell you guys, start looking for next year, talk to your clients early. I have to start doing the same thing.
January sales happen right now.
Absolutely.
If you think January sales happen in January, that's why your January sales suck.
That's right. January sales happen now. And in January, you're talking spring. That's April, May sales.
Yeah, your brain as a business owner, if you're a business owner,
Mhm.
needs to be, 6, 8 weeks out at all
Oh,
times.
absolutely.
And, because December, is kind of a wash because it's holiday and nobody's doing anything and
Right.
everybody's going to wait till next year and whatever. So really it's between now and the end of November into Thanksgiving, right? If you get past Thanksgiving and haven't closed for January, it's probably too late.
Yep,
So
absolutely.
you need to really kind of hit that right now, right? Hey, we got some comments. So first off, Rachel says, "Hey guys, can't stay today, but definitely listen later today. Loving all the information presented. Thank you, Rachel."
Thank you so much, Rachel. Yes.
Adam says, "Good morning, you two." By the
Good
way,
morning,
and
Adam.
Ghosta says, "It's like football. A match without goals is just confusing."
It's just a bunch of guys running around in a field. Who knows what
Yeah,
they're doing? You're absolutely right, Gusta. I like
that's
that.
called rugby.
Well, they still have goals too. So yeah,
They do have goals. It's always a good time to review and preview. Exactly.
absolutely. Eric Campbell. So
I
glad
said
he's
this a
listening.
million times to friends who get on the customers are idiots attitude, which I hate. The mean way of putting it is if you want to get their idiot money, you'll need to learn to sell to idiots.
You know what? And you're right, because we all, I mean, and being in sales, I do have customers like we talked about last week. I don't need to go there. I know what's going to happen. Why do I waste my time? And I'm listening. In my voice, I hear Jeffrey Gittimer going grow a pair, and I go there, and it ends up being a great call, and we have some opportunity.
Well, here's the other thing, right? You know that you might not get the whole account, but can you sell them something? Like, I'm a consultant, Alan. I have ebooks for people who are too embarrassed to actually talk to a coach. They want to do it themselves. I've got an ebook for them that they'll buy. I sell ebooks every day, right? So that's where a lot of people do. That's how they come into my ecosphere, right? Yep. And then some of them will buy the other ebooks. Some of them move up to coaching, and then some people eventually, I'm on a plane going to their shop, which is my highest level. I'm actually working personally with them.
Right.
And I'm on a plane, twice a month, probably doing things with people.
Yep.
And so it's like one of these things where I have different tiers and levels. So if you're thinking about how you're getting people into your world, right, Mr. or Mrs. Watcher, right? Think about, can you get them in with some little thing just to get the foot in the door kind of deal, right? And then how can you move them up the food chain into different opportunities with bigger and better and more profitable things, but making it easy for them to do something where there's very little. My ebooks, I don't interact with these people at all, right? I mean, they're just buying stuff and they do their deal and that kind of thing. And I think having a mentality like that really helps you build your sales. It helps you do stuff. It helps you with your lead prospecting and all types of things that you can do with that. So just think about how you might want to build that with what you do.
Absolutely. I think in my position too, when I go into like a client, like I just talked about, sometimes it's not just getting the sale right then. It is, how can I move to that one section closer, one step closer to having that opportunity? And so what happened, he's on contract with another company. He gave me the number and time frame when that's up. He said, I would love to look and see what you have. That's what I needed.
Yeah, right. So, it's information.
Absolutely.
Right. So here, this brings up a really valid point because everybody's usually got a guy.
Yep.
Right. Or a girl, woman, whatever. Yep. Right. Everybody's already got somebody. To get that business, they have to fire them. Right. So what are you doing that you can surprise and delight? What are you doing to be able to capitalize on that? How are you different? If you want sales from somebody, you have to show how you're different.
Yep.
And because otherwise you're competing on price. We want to show the difference, right?
And you don't want to compete on price. You never
go
to the bottom.
No. So Frank says, good morning from Houston. It's 56
Frank.
Degrees. I bet he's wearing a beanie.
We have a high of in the 70s today, but it was a high of in the 50s, 60s last couple of days. It rained for like 2.5 days straight here. So fall is coming.
Yeah, Eric says the better way to think of it is that those weaknesses in communication are something we can take responsibility for.
Absolutely. And you know what is in sales, and everybody is in sales. The fingers point back at us.
Yeah.
What am I doing?
Nothing happens until something is sold.
That's right. Absolutely.
Peter says, we're new 5 months now. My goal is to close off the garage door and finish print room by the end of November. Good.
And they are redoing their garage into an office and decorating department, and it's looking great. He's doing a great job from what they've done already.
So here's something that I want you to think about, Peter. I know it sounds like you're working from home. Okay. In your pricing, your next level is to move to a 2,000 or 5,000 square foot warehouse facility. What does that cost? So you're working out of your garage. So where you live, that's 2,000 a month or whatever the rent is for that. Or maybe you're going to buy something, whatever you're going to do, you need to put that into your pricing now. And that way you can afford it later as your business grows. Because right now you're taking advantage that you're working at a garage and it's rent free, right? That's not going to help you grow, right? So start thinking about how your pricing has to have all your costs built in, and your facility for you to expand and grow your business eventually is going to move out of that garage space.
Yep.
Okay. That might be next year. It could be 3 years from now, whatever, but you need to have that pricing built into how you're selling now. Right. And then what you're going to be doing is putting that extra money into a war chest for later. Right. So just think about that.
Absolutely. Great advice. That's good, Marshall.
So Ghosta says, I just made my 2022 planning job calendar ready for print like 1 hour ago. Okay, a student, teacher's pet.
Exactly.
That's great. Eric says, we meet the people where they are and provide guidance, communicating in the way they understand. That's great.
Absolutely.
So, Eric, I am going to be at Print Hustlers later next month. You need to come on this show as the guest host.
That would be nice.
So let's figure that out, okay?
Would that be possible, Eric? Let us know.
Keith says, haven't hit the sales goal close. However, our profit margins are up, which is a major goal. Also, we have defined some SOPs in place. That's awesome, Keith. Keep trucking.
You know what? We got to celebrate those wins. Nice job, Keith.
That's right. That's right. And then Ghosta says, do not let negative people rent rooms in your head. Ooh, I love that.
Yep.
Increase the rent and evict them.
Sometimes that negative person is your own self, too. If that voice sounds like you, stop it.
Yeah, right. I love that. That's awesome.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
Not only an A student, but, man, psychology major. It's awesome.
Yeah, right. Are you ready to get to the next topic?
Let's go.
Do you remember what it was?
Well, we switched them around. Contract printers jam. Yeah. Actually, I thought that was going to be at the end, but that's okay. I don't remember.
Was it?
I don't know.
Anyway, we're doing it now because it's already here. So contract printers, right? So a lot of people have been brokering stuff these days.
Yeah.
And contract printers, every single one of them that I know is, and Alan, I know you know this too, is really full, right?
They are.
So now's the time. If you're a contract printer, are you doing a price increase? Are you looking at increasing your quantities, the minimums, right? So if you look at your top level customers, right, we're so busy. You're so busy. You don't even know what to do. Now's the time to really assess who are the clients that you really like to work with and who aren't. What are the type of jobs? What is the money you're getting paid? All that kind of stuff. And then really capitalize on the fact that supply and demand. Okay. So really think about that. I know lots of contract shops, they're booked a month out.
Yep.
Okay. But are they booked a month out with jobs that aren't as profitable? Right. So start really kind of thinking about that and what you're going to be doing, because what I think is contract printers are really going to be busy for a long time, right? It's just because we have a lot of things that are going on right now. And a lot of shops have said, hey, I'm just going to outsource everything and send it to somebody and just do the sales. And I'm done trying to find printers and whatever. And that's what's really leading to this big surge in contract printing, is a lot of the other shops they're still selling. They're just not doing their stuff in house. So now's the time to like kind of think about who you want to work with. What do you think about that, Alan?
Well, I think you're exactly right. These shops are not just busy because of more work, but they're busy. They're busy because of more work they have coming. And by jam doesn't mean, they may take an order from you, but instead with contract printers, they usually prided themselves on getting it out in 3 days, 1 week, 2 weeks. And now there's nobody under 4 to 6 weeks. So, we had this conversation, Marshall, I think at one end of the table. Actually, no, it was at the VIP dinner at Shirt Lab. A client there was talking, and we said that I had to turn down. It was a large order because they couldn't meet a deadline, which was like in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And she goes, I hated that. And I said, in this market, if they were coming to you with a 2-week lead time, they may have been turned down by other contract printers already. Yeah. And that if they waited that long, then they might not even be a customer you wanted. So you have to start looking at that. I know everybody is jammed. 1, because of orders. 2, because it takes longer to source products, whether it be inks, whether it be especially garments and stuff. Well, we've talked about that before. Mm-hmm. So it's there. And then with contract printing, and there's a question there, you really better know your cost. If you don't know your cost, you're going to get in a problem.
Okay, we got some comments we should get to here. Yep. So first off, Greg Kitson's here. Good morning, Greg, who is a world famous, awesome contract printer.
Absolutely.
And Greg says, I've said no more in the past 6 weeks than my entire life. Yep. And then Joanne asked, can you tell me the benefits of contract printing? Not sure why we would want to do it, contemplating it. So Joanne, why are you contemplating it? Do you have excess capacity in production? Typically, that's what we hear. Okay. But let me tell you, if you do not know to the penny what it costs you to decorate, you do not need to be a contract printer.
Absolutely.
Okay. So let me ask you, do you know your costs? Okay. Yep. To the penny, do you know your costs at all times? And so many people get into contract printing, and then so-and-so is going to pay you 60 cents a side or 80 cents a side or whatever. Yep. And your cost actually is $1.53 or whatever it is. I don't know anything about your shop, Joanne. So it's like one of these things where you're actually losing money for every shirt that you could be printing. Yep. So if you don't know what your costs are, there's no way that you need to be putting your toe into the contract print market or embroidery market or DTG market or whatever, right? So you really need to have that fine-tuned. There's some fantastic, highly profitable contract printers out there. There are incredibly smart, super efficient shops. Is that you? If it's not you, you might take a look at it. I would, if you're fully retail, that's where most of your money comes from. I would rather see you spend time developing more customers at a higher profit rate and spend time building that than trying to fill up your presses. Okay. So I think if you spent more time, think about this, figure out how to work half as hard for twice as much. Okay. Don't be, as Mark Coudray always says, don't be busy being busy.
Absolutely.
You're not doing yourself any favors, but just keeping the presses running. Okay. So what? That's not helping you. Yep. Figure out how to build your business with better work. I think for me, I don't know anything about you. I would advise you looking at that first rather than looking at contract printing. Okay. Do you disagree with that, Alan?
No, I agree with it 100%. And she has answered on there. So I've actually been in the shop. So the other thing too is not just your cost, but if you don't have SOPs, contract printing is logistics. Mr. Greg Kitson, who is a phenomenal contract printer, I love I'm going to steal what he says about his shop all the time. We're basically a logistics company. we also print a couple hours away, because the way they do that is they know everything from it when it hits their door coming in on there to everything going on the time thing. If you don't have your SOPs and logistics set, you're going to die.
Yeah. Right.
You're not going to be profitable.
That's what I teach.
Yep, exactly.
I'm all over that. So Frank says, I saw one of our contract decorator customers' website located in Milwaukee had a banner on their website stating to be aware of their price increase starting 10/1. Great job to them. Excellent, Frank. Love hearing that. Greg says contract printing equals fixed costs for the buyer. Joanne says, nope.
You don't have them, so don't do it.
Yeah. We're telling people no because of availability of products and their unrealistic timelines.
Absolutely.
Hallelujah. Joanne says, Joanne is Val with Pete and Val, new screen printing.
In
what is that? 5 months. Okay.
5 months. So Pete Babcock, that's there. It's Val. It's his wife on there. They're together. I don't know why she's using a different name. This is her alias. So the government.
Oh, I see. So she's under the witness protection program.
I think
that's what's
so.
going on. We do higher price individual services.
Perfect. You're going to make more money on it.
So work really hard on that, growing your business, and don't worry about the contract stuff. Okay. If you want to get into contract printing, let's have a conversation.
Yep.
Okay.
Exactly.
That's all I know how to do. That's my whole ball of wax. Okay.
Most contract printers
it's not for the timid.
It is not for the timid at all. Especially if it's 100% contract. It is not for the timid. Right. There are more companies we knew that don't exist now that were contract printers. Actually, one of the largest ones just went down this year. And it's almost like
who was that?
Guerrilla Graphics.
Oh, right.
You know what? They were always busy.
They were in Illinois, Indiana.
In Illinois.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So, and you know what? Good people, good shop. But yeah, you know what? You can be busy and not be doing well.
But are you busy being busy, or are you busy being profitable? Let's go back to Kudre's famous line, right?
How about you're in business to do what? Make money.
Right.
If you're not profitable, don't do it.
Right.
Say no.
But here's the thing. You have to know your costs.
Yep. Because you don't know if you're profitable or not. Yeah,
and whether you're in a gigantic building with millions of employees and lots of presses, or you're working out of your basement or your garage, you still have to know your costs.
Absolutely.
And so many people don't do that because it's math. it's math. It's homework, right? I'm not doing that math stuff. We're gonna use, you ready for this? We're gonna use the pricing for the 5 or 6 shops around us, and we're going to average the price, and we're going to come in like 5% under that, and we'll be able to take over the market.
And you know what?
What could go wrong?
Well, you know what? Because what happens is you and I start placing bets. It's a roulette. Who goes out of business first?
Yeah. What if those 5 or 6 shops around you are a bunch of idiots?
Yeah, I was to say, what if they're psychos? Which they usually are.
And then also, though their price list is based on whatever they dreamed up. That doesn't mean it's going to work with your money, right? So, please don't do that. I
love when people finally figure out their costs, raise their pricing, and yes, you may be higher in your market, but if it still comes down to quality, time, and delivery, people will buy from who they like and who they trust. And if that's you, price doesn't matter.
Raise your prices, raise your minimum.
Right. What did Greg Kitson say? I've said no more in the last 6 weeks than ever in his career. And he's been doing this longer than I have. I know one of my customers said, you know what? My price list is my price list. And he's jammed right now. Here it is. And he's doing overflow work from another company, and he's doing some other stuff. He's going,
he should raise his prices, right?
Yep. He said, here it is. You don't like it? Tough.
Yeah. Right. Good luck.
So,
all right. So we love contract printers jam. We love more conversation about that. If you've got a question about contract printing or whatever, throw it in the comments. I think we need to move on to the next topic.
If you need a good contract printer, contact Greg Kitson. He might say no, but remember, if he's 6 weeks out, that just is. That's not him saying I just don't want to do it. That's just he's just being honest.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Next up, Black Friday holiday communication. Now we alluded to this earlier in the show. And I really think right now, if you're not communicating with your end customers about what's going to happen,
Mm-hmm.
what's going on, inventory, consumables, shipping, right?
Yep.
If you're not communicating with them, you're about to have a giant disaster wake up call, right? So,
Absolutely.
what do you think is going to happen, Alan? Are you worried about this as much as I am?
I always worry when we get towards the end of the year because sales in screen prints tend to sometimes go up, they sometimes go down. I just never know on this one. Same thing January, February. I have had incredible January, February's, March, and I've had awful ones. So we're still going into a new venture coming out of what we did last year. Just I don't know.
Yeah.
And it's election year too, so that kind of plays into it. It's weird. But I still think, Marshall, what we have been talking about the whole time is that regardless of the climate, meaning we can't help the government, we can't help what's going on, we can't help shortages, you still have to get out there and talk to customers and start moving. If you're not talking about holidays right now to your customers, you're behind.
Yeah.
Black Friday we're almost in October, a month. You
Yeah.
better have it ready. Talk to your clients. What are they doing? And we're talking not just shirts. Don't forget about promotionals. Saw a great thing on Facebook you and I were talking about.
Yeah.
On there. And come on. That's a great lead in.
So I think right now we need to be looking at a couple key things. We need to be looking at shipping. Okay.
Oh, absolutely.
FedEx is understaffed. UPS is understaffed. U.S. Postal Service is a disaster.
It's always been a disaster and understaffed.
It's even a worse disaster than it has been. Okay.
Yeah,
and so,
absolutely.
So when we need to ship something and it has to be there by Christmas, I don't think there's any guarantees on that. We need to be really talking about that way, way, way early. Okay. Yeah. Also, we order product, even if we find the shirts or find the ink or whatever you're looking for, and it's supposed to come in on Friday, there's no guarantee that it's going to come in on Friday. So if you're trying to get something done by a certain date, it's really with the assumption that all the planets are in alignment. Right? Yeah. And so one of the things I really think that you guys should be talking about is the caveat where if we get the shirts in, if we get that metallic gold ink in or whatever, right? Then we can start printing on Monday or Tuesday. But if there's delays, that might affect things, right? Be talking about that when you take the order.
Absolutely.
Not the day before it's supposed to ship and you don't have the thing yet and and your customer is their head's about to blow off, right? Mm-hmm. So I think I know a lot of people are doing that, but I'm still hearing this stuff. I'm still seeing, like you, Alan, I go to Facebook for a giggle and I still see all of these posts with these people complaining about ink suppliers cutting them off, or how come I can't find black shirts? I'm like, really? Okay. You're just now posting about this now? Come on.
What I would say, what, are you new? Have you been in a coma the last year? It's like, come on.
Yeah. So you have to solve the problem. So my blog article tomorrow is about people being super stubborn. And I use a metaphor. If you want me, I'll just tell it now so you don't have to read the article. But it's about, imagine you're in a car on the freeway, right? And it's always clear. It's the way you go home. It's never a problem. But right now there's a car accident plus construction, right? Mm-hmm. Do you sit there on the highway, or do you get off on the exit and find an alternate route to go around the obstruction, or just take side streets home? Okay. Where we are right now is we need to be getting off on the exit. And not being stubborn, like, this is the way that I always do it. So this is I just have to do it this way. And I think right now, a lot of people are in that mindset where, they're a screen printer and they use plastisol ink. Okay. They can't find plastisol ink. Maybe you should try some water-based. Maybe you should do embroidery. Maybe you should do heat transfers. It's all about just solving the problem. Okay. And so that's what I'm talking about here is You have to find alternative things right now to survive what's going on. So if you're in that mindset where you're just going to be stuck on the freeway because this is the way we've always done it, good luck, Buster.
I think with your customer, you have to be, like you said, Marshall, be communicating ahead of time as the order's being placed and letting them know. And then as these little roadblocks, these little twists and turns happen, stay in communication, not the day before.
Yes.
Hey, your shirts, we found part of them. The other ones are coming from California. They're supposed to be in this month. It could be a note, a text, an email. Have it documented. Make sure they know about it. And you're letting them know. They are part of the production cycle now.
Yeah.
And there are no surprises. People do not like surprises. They can handle bad news. They don't like it all at once, a minute before game time.
So, like, for example, your customer wants a particular shirt, brand, and color. Great. And, it's 600 shirts or 1,000 shirts or 200 shirts, whatever it is. And you can't find them, right? What is the alternative? Well, I can sell you this that's available right now. Okay. Or you just don't get your shirts because they don't exist. Right.
Yep.
It's the same thing with like Richardson hats or whatever. Name your product, hoodies. It doesn't matter. Right. There's other things that you can sell them, but what you have to do is you have to be prepared. So just bear that in mind. Okay. And I think right now we need to be talking with our clients about this. We need to be communicating what's going on early in the sales process before we commit to things, right? Don't sell a particular brand, just sell that it's a 5.5 ounce, 100% cotton shirt.
Right.
And then hopefully we can do it with all the same types of shirts. But, hey, if we need to, can we fill in a different brand with the mediums?
Yep.
Have that discussion early. And if the answer is no, then that hamstrings you. But if the answer is yes, that makes it easier to make a purchasing decision. And then what you do is, what is the highest price shirt of what you're looking at? And then that's what's quoted for the whole thing. And that way you're not losing any money doing it.
Yep.
Okay.
Perfect.
So you just think through the box here. Think outside of the box, right?
Yep.
It's about solving the problem, not sticking to your guns the way that you did it 2 years ago. Because that train has left the station. We're not going back there. Okay.
You're not a salesperson. You're in there to provide solutions at that point.
Right.
The sales already done. So
got some comments here. So William says, I based my pricing on what other shops were charging in the early 90s. Nearly went broke. They did. Exactly.
Yep. Perfect.
We're not just making this stuff up.
Yeah.
The nice thing about Kitson is that he will most likely give you a name of someone who can work for you if he can't. Personal experience.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Sean. Hey, by the way, thanks for watching, Sean. Appreciate you.
Thank you very much, Sean. Yeah.
Okay, we got 10 minutes or so left and one more topic. You ready?
Go.
Boom. Equipment upgrading is going bananas right now.
It is still.
What is going on with this, Mr. Howe?
People are still buying equipment because 1, they're busy. 2, it's saving labor. And 3, they've got money. Because now you got to start thinking, going, I'm making money. I'm going to have to make some major purchases to offset the tax burden. If you haven't talked to your financial advisor and your accountant by now, you need to find out where you're at. Find out, do you need to make a major purchase? Because that piece of equipment has to be in before the first of the year for you to get the depreciation and tax advantage off of, I think it's 179. But talk to your accountant on it. So people are going busy. And because they're so busy, I know one client is getting another image. He said, because he can't be down. CTSs are great. Marshall and I talk about them all the time. Problem is, if you have one and it goes down, you're dead in the water.
Well, you're not dead in the water. You're back to using film, right?
And usually they don't have that, but you got to generate it up. It has to go from a TIFF file back to PDFs and stuff. So there is some time thing on it. And your detail could suffer, but you're pretty much dead. And he is looking right now, going, I think I'm going to get another eye image, because he went down and it's a shop that all 3 of his presses plus his 2 manuals are going.
Yeah,
He
right.
can't afford to be down. Film's also slower too. And
right.
So he's upgrading, and it's still, people are ordering automatics. People are also ordering embroidery machines. They're ordering auto reclaim. And yes, the delays are long. If you're thinking about it and going to do it, talk to your supplier, get on board, and get in line.
And I think for a lot of this, like if there is a wait, because I know some of the manufacturers, there's a gigantic, 2-month, 3-month wait on some of this stuff. It's a lot of it is because the parts they need are sitting on a boat in the Pacific Ocean. Right?
That is true. And some of them are more. I mean, we know some that it's 48 weeks, just say a year.
They're waiting on some stuff, right? Yeah. And so there's this big deal right now for some of these parts to start being made in the United States. That's all great, and I hope that happens, but they still got to build that plant, and that's not going to happen next week. So, and if you think you're going to want to upgrade, you're going to purchase, get the thing, get it in line, get going, because it could get worse.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
If you wait, it could get. Who knows what's going to happen?
We just don't know.
A bird in the hand, man. That's what I'm going to tell you, right?
And you know what? We like to think we know, Marshall. This is Q&A. We've been around. We don't know. If we knew more, GSG would be sponsoring us even more and doing it. We don't know.
All we know is our experience, right? And what people are telling us. That's our advantage here, right? If I could predict the future, I don't think I'd be doing this show.
I know more now than I did 5 minutes ago. I've probably forgotten more too. So, but yeah. Exactly. We don't know what's happened. You make the best decisions and good decisions with the information you have at that time.
Yeah, right.
I think equipment, you got to be talking to your financial planner on there. Make sure where you're at. If sales are going good, great. Make sure your profitability is there. What do you need to do? What do you have to do? Because labor is still going to be an issue. It's not about getting rid of people. It's just making people more productive.
Well, you can redeploy them. You can redeploy them also, right? And so the other thing is, can you upgrade when you're upgrading? For example, you're getting an auto reclaim unit. You're going from using a film printer to CTS. You're going from a manual press to a auto. You're going from a single head embroidery to a 6 head or a whatever, right? The reason why you're upgrading is because you're going to get more throughput.
Absolutely.
And a lot of times it's more throughput with less labor, which lowers your cost. And so, and if you need help figuring this stuff out, I'm available. Alan, I'm sure you've helped people with this too. And so it's really just about, again, what is it? It's knowing your numbers, right?
Absolutely.
What are you doing now? And then what do you need? Right. And so this is a really great exercise to do and just really kind of think things through. And sometimes it's just really super obvious. Right. Yeah. And here's the other thing I'll tell you. A lot of times they go, well, that thing is $60,000 or whatever. Right. Well, you know what? A lot of times you're already spending the money.
Yep.
You're just not writing the check for it. Where are you spending the money? You're spending the money in inefficiencies. You're spending the money in overtime. You're spending the money in the fact that you can't get all this work out because you're so slow, right? So imagine speeding this process up. How much more can you, if you were to double, triple your output, how much more money can you make, right? It's costing you an opportunity cost, not in a check that you have to write. So you have to be cognizant of that, I think, and really kind of look at this from, a 30,000 foot view, unbiased, and kind of think, if we made a better decision, how is that going to affect what we're doing?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's, it is. I mean, equipment has gone nuts, even through COVID. Equipment has gone insane. That was still the one constant. People were purchasing because they saw it coming. It's a reduction of labor and making people more profitable, or more productive. So it's happening.
Keith says, I sent, just going back
I
to what we
love
were
that.
talking
I
about
love
earlier,
this.
I sent on a massive email letting the customers know about shortages and please be patient and willing to change shirt style colors, whatever. Phone rang off the hook the next day, but it was a good thing.
Absolutely. Way to be proactive, Keith.
Love it. Love it. Frank
Absolutely.
says, contact S&S Activewear rep and we can refer you to your contract decorator as well. Love it.
Yep.
Sean says, yes, ordering new 6-head Baradin, red chili D, and a semi-auto emulsioning rig.
I don't know what an emulsioning rig is.
Is that a auto coder?
Keith, you're going to have to define. 35
That
years,
sounds
never
like an
heard
auto
it.
coder to me.
It sounds like semi-automatic. So Keith or Sean kind of elaborate on that and what that is. Emulsioning rig. He's getting a new scoop coater. No, I don't know. So
it's an automatic scoop coater with springs, you know.
Great. Actually, I think what it is probably a semi-automatic Vestic one, maybe. Sean, let us know if that's what it is. But good job.
Well, anyway, hey, congratulations on getting stuff.
Absolutely.
So, hey, look.
It is the Vestic one.
You hold the scoop coater and it moves it for you.
Yep, it is nice. I remember the first time using that, I saw it at Vestic. And then actually at Greg Kitson's place, I was playing with it.
Yeah.
And you hold the scoop coater and it does it. I'm sitting there holding it, but it into the screen. You just got to move your hands. Emulsion's dripping all over, going on. It's like, oh, I forgot to tip it back, but it was great. So yeah, I love an auto scoop coater, but I think that's a great move.
I like the auto coders where you just put the screen in there and hit the button, walk away, go do something else, come back, and the thing's coded.
I love auto coders when they do 2 screens at once. I think auto coders
2 screens at once is the best.
Is incredible. Those are things that people get, and just like auto reclaim, you get them dialed in working. Why didn't I not do this?
And here's the other thing with a machine doing your screens, and I hear this a lot where, oh yeah, my guy or I code screens and they're perfect and they're great and whatever.
Absolutely,
I guarantee you're not as good as a machine doing it because the machine has no variables. It's whatever you set it up. It's exactly that way every time, unless it runs out of emulsion or something. It's going to do it exactly your settings. And so that eliminates what? It eliminates the variable.
And you know what? That machine costs less than that employee.
Yeah.
That employee could be doing something else. He could be hitting the button on those screens, letting them coat. He could be taking other screens out, putting them in the rack, and he can get other screens ready to be coated.
Yeah, right.
So I've had shops where they have one guy who is coating screens, he's imaging screens, and he's drying screens, just moving them in a circle like that. So,
right.
Perfect.
Yeah, right. And so it's one of these things where just looking at that about what's your capacity, what do you need, and I was talking with somebody the other day about how many screens do I need for my shop. And I said, at a minimum, you need 4 times your daily use.
Yep.
More is better, right? But 4 times your daily use, because your screens are in different parts of your shop, right? So how many do you use a day? Do you use 30 a day or do you use 300 a day, right? So that really affects how many that you need. And then, of course, you have screens that either going to be, if they're retentionable, you got to work on them, or if they're static, you got screen frames that you're going to have to retire because the tension sucks.
Yep.
Right.
Or have them restretch. I see places too where they have way too many screens only because they can't cycle them fast enough. So they just buy more screens, which is a waste of money.
Yeah.
They can't get them reclaimed enough. So now we're out of screens. So we just buy more.
Well, is it because they're reclaiming manually? I mean, once they,
they just won't spend the money. And it's like, come on. So, I'd rather spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on new screens than automate. But
I don't get that.
I don't either.
They need some help now.
You know what? But all I can do, Marshall, you and I have done this too. I go into someone's shop and you can give them advice, make suggestions, but when you leave, it's their business. They'll do whatever they want. I cannot do it.
You're preaching to the choir, pal.
Absolutely. Everybody listening, don't be that client.
Right. So Simon says it costs a lot less than a bad employee.
Absolutely.
And here's the other thing of screen departments. Quit putting your crappy employees in the screen room as punishment.
Put your best employees in your screen room. That machine does not work. That printer does not work without screens. I don't care if it's an M&R, Anatol, or whatever. That's the sexy part. Has bells and whistles. It goes around, and cool things come off of it. They do not work without screens. Put your best people in your screen room manager.
Yeah, right.
Give them control of it. Give them SOPs and do it.
Right, right. Well, cool. I think we're out of topics. We're out of time. So just to wrap up here, what's going on with you this weekend, Alan? You got anything cool planned?
No, I have nothing cool planned. Actually, I need to go out to my brother's house. I need to drop off a birthday card for my nephew Mason and a gift certificate because I'm all out of town when it's his birthday and I'm a horrible uncle. But I'll do that this weekend. Yeah, really not. Like I said, this has been a week. I went 3-4 weeks of just hitting it hard, and so I've just been kind of hanging at home. So, great. But Monday morning I'm out. I have appointments set. I'll be in Ohio, so we hit it again.
I'm guessing it's Saturday nap on the couch day.
Usually, yeah, not on the couch, a reclining chair. So
yeah, okay.
You know what? I think I need to go things like that. I need to go grocery shopping. I need to, I haven't made. It's a little chilly out. I'm thinking, it's going to be a cooking day. I'm thinking vegetable soup, homemade vegetable soup. I haven't done that in a while. So yeah,
some split pea soup with some ham.
You know what? I do split pea soup, but I don't do it with ham. I do it with either. This is where Mom, being from Alabama, a hock, smoked hock, I put in there, or I do a salt pork. I'll put in there.
Okay, cool.
Thick cut bacon, but yeah, anything a pork will do. So
yeah, well, you need that. You need that pork greasy.
Oh, you got to. It's good. So. But I do that. So I haven't done soup in a while. So I think it's going to be a cooking day. I love to cook. I love to put stuff in the freezer. And it's getting a little low. So as much as I eat out, when I'm out of town, when I'm at home, I do not go out. I went out Monday with some friends just to get tacos and drinks and stuff like that. And yeah, it was nice. But since then, I just stayed at home the whole time.
Good. I'm thinking of maybe getting the smoker going.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to see what's on sale at the grocery store, I think.
Yeah. So, and it's amazing because, I might not have food in the fridge. I always have stuff in the freezer. So I can always do things.
Yeah. By the way, Tanya just joined us. So,
hey, Tanya.
Hey, congratulations on joining us at the end of the show.
Absolutely.
We're not making fun of you or anything.
Yeah.
Okay. But thanks for showing up. We appreciate you.
Yeah, I love the Tanya. I'll never forget Marshall at Shirt Lab jumping in the van with you to go to the event at Printed Threads, and meeting Tanya for the first time, and her reminding me, first time we ever talked, I called her. She texted me, I called her back, and I was on my boat fishing in the middle of the week. Whoops.
Yeah.
So happens. That's what we have headsets for.
That's called customer service, folks.
And it's called multitasking. But yeah.
Hold on while I reel this in.
I have had that. Joe McNamara from Showtime has called me before. This was years ago. I lived in Pennsylvania, but I was up in Michigan fishing on a lake my parents lived on.
Yeah.
And he goes, "You catch anything?" I go, "Hold on." And as I'm talking to him, he goes, "Big one." I go, "About 4.5, 5 pounds." He goes, "No way." I go, "Hold on, picture's coming." And sent it to him. I laid it on the ground and set it next to my foot, which is 10.5 shoe. He goes, "Oh my gosh, it's huge." I said, "Yeah," but I let it go. It has happened more than once.
So Simon says he has a whole salmon to smoke this weekend.
Yum.
Great. And Tanya says it's all good. Homecoming this week, so I'll have to watch the replay. No problem.
Do it.
All right, folks.
Smoked fish. Have you ever smoked a fish, Marshall?
No, but that doesn't mean I won't. I just prefer something that walks around more.
Yeah, Northern Michigan, you can buy at the store smoked whitefish, smoked trout, smoked salmon.
Yeah,
it's just delicious.
Right. Yeah. So I prefer like pork and beef and chicken.
Oh,
Right?
so good. Smoked anything. Smoked heel of an old shoe. Perfect. It's just all good when it's smoked.
Yeah. I was thinking maybe doing some beer in the butt.
Yep.
You know, I don't know. We'll just see.
Yep. Chicken. Yeah. Delicious.
Well, the grocery store last week was supposed to have brisket on sale, and then they did, and of course they didn't have any because everybody bought them. Right.
Right. Sean says coho. That's a salmon. Coho's good. Schnook, which are king salmon, incredible. Atlantic salmon, great.
Yeah, great.
Can't go wrong.
Yep. All right, guys. Well, hey, thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next week, and everybody have a fantastic weekend, and we'll talk to you later.
Have a great one.